What's going on, U.S. history people? This is Mr. Norris,
And Mr. Lawrence.
and we are here to talk to you about geography today. Everything you need to know to prepare you for U.S. history. So let's get going. Okay, we're going to start off today talking about maps, and there are two major types of maps that you need to know. The first one is a political map, and political maps show borders such as national or country borders, state borders, and also cities as well.
All right, so let me ask you a quick question, Mr. Norris.
Please.
If I fly from Buffalo to San Francisco, what you're telling me is that I'm not going to see the outline of the states of Ohio, Illinois, Nevada. I'm not going to see the star that indicates the capital of Nebraska.
Believe it or not, no, you will not. So when you're flying here from Buffalo and going over, you will not see the border between Ohio and Indiana. What you will see is something that looks more like this map. What is that map?
Oh, so what you're saying, I'm going to see something that looks more like a physical map. So what do we see when we actually take a look at a physical map? What you're going to notice are environmental features. So some basic environmental features that almost all physical maps will show us are bodies of water, mountains, and deserts. So just by looking at the map that we have here, you can see just a few simple geographic features.
Okay, we're going to talk about some important key physical features. And you should be familiar with rivers, and most notably the Mississippi River, which plays a very large role in U.S. history. Lots of trade and travel that happens on the Mississippi River.
Not only do physical maps show us features like rivers, but they'll also show us things like mountains. So, Mr. Norris, give me one specific mountain that you think is important for American history students.
I think Appalachian Mountains are very important to know because going back to colonial times, the British created something based off of the Appalachian Mountains. What was that, Mr. Lawrence?
Something about a proclamation line of
1763. Yes, there it is. What's another mountain range students should be familiar with?
the Rocky Mountains. As we move west, when we talk about things like Manifest Destiny, the Transcontinental Railroad, the Rocky Mountains are going to play a huge role in understanding our westward migration as a nation.
And also another major aspect of physical features on a map are lakes, and we live right by the Great Lakes. Here in Buffalo, there are two lakes near us, Erie and Ontario. And also, don't forget about Michigan, Huron, and Superior. Is there a way to remember that, Mr. Lawrence?
I bet there is. Can you tell us?
I'm going to go with Homes, Homes. That's why I was taught in 4th grade. I still remember it to this day.
Wow, Mr. Norris, you're so smart. Do you know what the largest of the Great Lakes is?
I'm going to go with Superior.
That is correct.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to latitude versus longitude. Two key terms that get thrown out a lot. When we're talking about latitude and longitude, we need to be familiar with absolute location and relative location. What is absolute location, Mr. Lawrence?
All right, so absolute location is something you need to know for this exam, for this course, and just understanding history in general. To find absolute location, you're actually going to use latitude and longitude. It will find a specific location on a map. So something like a GPS uses latitude and longitude to find exactly a river, a mountain, a city.
So, Mr. Lawrence, when we're talking about latitude and longitude, which one is which? Which one goes east-west and which one goes north-south?
All right, so east-west, the way I always remember it, is latitude is flatitude.
Ooh, that's good. I learned as latitude is like a ladder, and runs goes side to side, and latitude goes side to side or east-west.
So then what you're saying is north-south? That's our longitude.
You are correct, yes. Okay, so absolute location is using latitude and longitude. Relative location is identifying a location by using surroundings. So examples, we live in Buffalo. I will give you the absolute location of Buffalo, and you tell me what the relative is. So the absolute is 42.8 degrees north latitude and 78.8 degrees west longitude. You type that into a GPS, and you will reach Buffalo. What would the relative location be?
So if I was to give you relative location of Buffalo, I would say in western New York. So if you would look at the state of New York and identify the city of Buffalo, you would notice that it's in the western portion of New York. So western New York.
Let's go to the other end of the state at New York City. The absolute location is 40.7 degrees north latitude, 74 degrees west longitude. So how would we do the relative location for New York City?
Now, first you'd have to identify where New York City is, and you would also have to understand what some of the surrounding locations are to find the relative location. For example, you could say that New York City is on the eastern seaboard of the United States, and it's south of the city of Boston, and you could say north of the city of Washington, D.C. would give you your relative location.
So in order to know relative location, you have to know what surrounding areas are?
That's correct.
Okay, next we're going to talk about human interactions with geography and how humans affect their surroundings. Let's talk about canals. What is a canal, Mr. Lawrence?
Well, a canal is pretty simple. It's just a man-made waterway.
Can you think of a famous canal near Buffalo?
Oh, I can think of one very close to Western New York and Buffalo, the Erie Canal.
Ooh, I like the Erie Canal. I'm going to go Panama Canal as well as an international canal that was built during President Theodore Roosevelt's administration. Here's a picture of the locks on the Erie Canal, and here is a picture of the Panama Canal. And you notice here that we have two cities, New York City and San Francisco. Before the canal was built, you would have to go all the way around South America, and that would be a 13,000-mile journey. Now you can cut down the time by more than half. It is only 5,200 miles. Mr. Lawrence, why is there a need to go from New York to San Francisco?
Well, two things. Economics, moving goods and people quicker from San Francisco to New York City will be a benefit to the American economy, but also for defense reasons. If there was ever a national emergency on the east or west coast, the Navy could move much quicker going through the Panama Canal.
So before the Panama Canal was built, the quickest way to get from New York City to San Francisco was by a railroad, in this case the Transcontinental Railroad.
So the Transcontinental Railroad is just another aspect of American history we have to be aware of when it comes to Americans dealing with the issue of geography and our westward expansion through the period of Manifest Destiny.
And Manifest Destiny really began in 1803 with the Louisiana Purchase under Thomas Jefferson. And if you look here, you notice that it doubles the size of the United States. Is it important to know that it doubled the size of the United States?
Absolutely.
I remember seeing that quite frequently on Regents exams.
And the last topic we want to talk about with human interaction geography is gold. Gold will play a role in westward expansion during Manifest Destiny and the development of the Transcontinental Railroad. We'll also see the issue of gold in Georgia and pushing Native Americans farther west during the Trail of Tears.
Okay, let's finish this up with a past New York State Regents thematic essay topic, something that you could very well see on your exam. So let's talk about the theme. The theme said geographical factors often influence United States government actions, both foreign and domestic. Mr. Lawrence, can you tell me what foreign and domestic means?
Sure. Just be aware when we're talking about foreign versus domestic, foreign is any theme or topic or issue that happens outside of the borders of the United States. Domestic, any theme, topic, or issue that happens within the borders of the United States.
Some of these factors include location, physical environment, movement of people, climate, and resources.
So your task, what are you actually going to be writing about? What are some questions that you might have to answer in a written format? What the question starts off asking us is to identify two actions taken by the U.S. government that were influenced by geographic features, and for each action, discuss the historical circumstances that resulted in the government action. Discuss the influence of a geographic factor on the action, and describe the impact of the government action on the United States.
Okay, so there's a lot there. Notice guys, that it says identify two actions, and for each one, you have to address each of these bullets. So that is a total of 6 things you will be addressing. Mr. Lawrence, can you just choose one action and one bullet point?
Absolutely not.
Make sure you address both actions and all 3 bullet points for each. So some examples to get you going that you can incorporate in this essay would be the Louisiana Purchase,
The Homestead Act,
the Transcontinental Railroad,
Panama Canal,
and the Interstate Highway Act.
Now, Mr. Norris, I don't see the Erie Canal on this list.
Just because something is not on there does not mean you can't use it. You absolutely can, as long as it is related to the theme. So, Mr. Lawrence, how many of these would we have to choose again?
2.
2. And address all 3 bullets. All right, that is it for us. Thank you for watching. We hope this helped. Have a good day.